So, hi Chance, thanks for this talk. I would like to know, you mentioned before on your talk there are problems both in the AAA and indie games industry.
Yeah.
So, how you guys are solving it and how players can experience it on Martial Arts Tycoon?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, AAA games are very, very, very expensive, and as a result, AAA games can't take a lot of chances, right? It's harder for them to try inserting new game mechanics because the investors who have invested potentially over $100 million don't want to lose that money, right? So as a result, indie game companies are actually innovating a lot more than AAA is. And so an indie game company will create a new mechanic, and AAA will say, oh, look, that works. We can include that in our game, right? You look at Call of Duty DMZ. I mean, that's like Tarkov Light, right? And it took years for them to adopt that style of gameplay, but it was a pretty indie game company, I mean, fairly indie, AA, that created this whole style of gameplay. And then later it came into AAA games. And so with indie games, sometimes they work on some game that's so niche, so specific, that it doesn't make any money. And you have to make money while making the game that you want to make. So you have to find that balance.
So, we just saw our first look at what we are getting on Early Access 2024,
Yeah.
right? And what players can expect on Martial Arts Tycoon Brazil?
If you've played a lot of classic Tycoon games, whether it's like Roller Coaster Tycoon, a 2-Point Hospital, Planet Coaster, at its core, it's very similar to those style of games. But you're going to see a little more focus on character building versus building buildings, right? Because jiu-jitsu is all about character building, right? So people come into your gym, they have problems, maybe they have health issues, maybe they're getting bullied at school. They want to learn the skills to say, defend themselves against a bully, or just get some exercise to lose some weight and get healthier, right? So 97% of people that train martial arts do not want to be fighters. 3% only want to be fighters. So most people are coming in as casuals like me or you that just, have other motives outside of being a lutador,
Personally love it on your game and I can't wait to play. And what can you share with us about your personal life experience on Jiu-Jitsu? How you are translated it to this game?
Yeah, I mean, Jiu-Jitsu is, it's an art of resilience. You put yourself in very uncomfortable situations for sometimes very long times, and you have to sit there and breathe slowly and just get through it. Sometimes you just have to look at the clock, see how much time is left, and just focus on slow breathing, right? Just it's almost meditative. In life, that's a metaphor for problems we experience in life. When something's going bad at work, you're having relationship problems, stop and breathe, think, try to think of ways out of it and just work your way through it, right? And I think so Jiu-Jitsu, outside of making people resilient physically, makes them resilient within their personality.
When you mentioned Matt Heath,
Yeah.
He do metal, and why he and why
How did I get a rock star working on my game?
yes, and why he will do something very different than what he do
Yeah.
every day.
So we both train at Gracie Baja in North Orlando, over obviously in Orlando, Florida. And we met, and I'd heard he trained at the gym, and I was pretty decent fan of Trivium and listened to their music. And he was a big fan of Call of Duty. And so we were both excited to meet each other because I liked what he did, he liked what I did. And so, many times throughout the week during lunch, we would roll, he would, rip my feet off. He loves to, attack feet and legs. He's a leg and feet guy, so watch out. It's good because he's got to protect his neck. He's a singer, right? And so he's showing me the dark arts of leg games, right? As they call it, the dark arts. And so when he heard I was going to make a game about jiu-jitsu, he wanted to do the music, right? And he's actually he did a song for The Sims. He did what was that, like first-person music timing?
Singer.
Yeah. He did that. He's actually done a handful of video game soundtracks, and so this is great because we live in the same city, and he's super pumped for this. He's already created, I think, 90 minutes of music, and we're not even towards the end of the project, right? So he's doing pagode, samba. We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to get some funk at some point. You know, you have to have funky because you're in the favela. But yeah, this guy, you know, metal is one of the most complex, deep forms of music. And so if you can be a good metal artist, you can probably write any kind of music.
Yeah, I personally cannot wait to play it next year. So, Chance, thank you so much.
Valeu.
Glad to talk to you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, galera.